Welcome everybody tonight to a special called meeting, August 13th, 2020. Welcome, Mayor Thompson. You are here with us via Zoom, and we're very glad that you're feeling better. And at this point of the meeting, I turn the meeting over to Mayor Thompson.
See, where'd you find it?
I have no sound.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
God. No, we're working on it.
Technical difficulties.
We hear you. Is he muted?
Is there somebody outside to let Chris in?
The last time he was on Zoom?
Yeah, it's on. Okay.
Can you hear us, Ronnie?
So he needs to unmute himself at home.
He is unmuted, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear him.
That's right.
But it's his system, there's something wrong with his system. I didn't realize he was.
Ronnie, can you hear us?
And see, we heard him earlier.
Yep. Worked fine.
So,
He's coming. He's on his way.
He's coming?
Yeah. He should be here in a second. Someone just out there to let him in.
You still can't hear us? Because we could hear you for a minute.
yeah, why doesn't he call
Yep.
in?
Tell him.
I'm
Do
texting
that.
him.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
I hear Ronnie.
You hear Ronnie?
Pretty
Here,
silent.
sorry.
I don't know why we can't hear you.
Can he just call in on the
I was
phone
gonna
number
call
right
him.
here? Okay, we'll call you. I'll tell him we'll call him.
Mr. Ronnie.
Okay.
I got you.
You'll need to turn off. Should he turn off his computer?
No, as long as the
It's
audio's not
feedback.
working.
Can you speak a little to us, Mr. Mayor, so we can? Hello?
No, we just heard him.
Hello?
Mr. Ronnie.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
That's perfect. So we'll do you by phone. Is that okay?
That sounds great.
Okay,
Can everyone hear?
Yes.
have we, okay,
Okay, all the members of the council can hear you, and you can hear them.
Hello, Ron.
Yes.
Very good.
you want him to identify
Yeah.
himself for the record?
I think that would be a very good idea. If you would identify yourself for the rest of us and the public and the record.
Okay, this is Ronnie Thompson, Mayor of the City of Morganton.
And we've established that the mayor can hear us and we can hear him. I guess one thing we'll have to change, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, is that instead of participating by Zoom, Mayor Thompson is participating by telephone. And we are expecting, Councilman Hawkins is on his way. He's not here just yet, but should be here any second.
Well, in that case, I'd like to call the special meeting of City Council for August 13th, 2020 to order. Our first order of business is a public hearing in consideration of an award of contract for financing for the historic Courthouse Square project. Sally, could you give us, well, I'll call the public hearing to order, and Sally, could you give us some background information?
Absolutely. So as everyone knows, we've been working on this project for quite some time. And at our last council meeting, excuse me, in early August, we awarded the construction contract to Wilkie Construction for this project. This is the consideration of our financing for the project. And have before you tonight an opportunity presented to us by Truist Bank, formerly BB&T and SunTrust, I guess. So they have bid on this proposal, and we are looking at financing an amount not to exceed $2,788,000. Excuse me. They have bid for us a 15-year loan at 1.93%, which seems pretty great. Staff would recommend that you consider that amount and that rate that they have offered to us. They will take a security interest in the amount of the property that we own, which is just 0.4 acres, and that will satisfy that. After we hold the public hearing tonight, if we follow through and take the action, we will get these documents and everything to the local government commission. Then they will consider this at their September 1st meeting. That will be our last approval that we need in order to have the financing in place to move forward with the project. So.
And for the record, Mr. Mayor, for the record, Councilman Hawkins has now joined us.
Great. So we are in a public hearing. Kelly, do we have anyone who signed up to speak at the public hearing?
We do not.
We do not, but there are several people in the room who may want to have comments since this is a public hearing and not public comment.
Okay. I'll invite someone to the microphone, please.
And if you would please just identify yourself, your name and address.
You don't know who I am?
Yes,
please.
Yes, you.
Hi, Keith Settles. I live at 3106 Hunters Ridge Court, Morganton. I know that there was a segment of the population that kind of fought against this thing, but I think this is probably going to be a great thing for downtown Morganton. Being a past business owner here, right across from the courthouse there, I know the Friday night shows always helped with business there Friday nights, and when we had the special events, it was always an increase in business there, just because of what was going on at the courthouse. But I've also seen some of the things that were wrong with the old courthouse square. The wall around the exterior is tumbling. I've seen people standing on those rocks and the whole thing fall over. So I think anything we do to it is definitely going to be an improvement. And looking at the plans that have been developed for that area, I think it's going to be a great thing. I think that it's going to really enhance downtown. I think Morgan is not only going to be the envy of Western North Carolina, I think we're probably going to be the envy of towns this size all over the Southeast. We travel quite a bit, and I don't know of any town that probably has a project of this scale that will look this good when it's all completed, if it's based on what the drawings look like and stuff. And I think the offer that the bank has made sounds like I wish I could get that kind of, of course I wish I had that kind of money to begin with, but anyway, I don't see any downfall with this or downside to this other than the people that aren't going to be happy with tearing down the old jail. And after looking at the photographs in the Sunday paper of what the jail used to be, it nowhere near resembles what it was when it was built in 1913. I guess they had a fire in 43, I think the article said. So it was a two-story building. So, as far as historical significance, it really doesn't look like what the building did back in the day it was built. And I've actually worked in that building, and the people that think it could be retrofitted or something done to it, I can assure you it cannot be done. The walls were built to keep people in, and they're not built to run piping or anything else through to make that building any better than what it is. It took us a week with 5 people to cut through one of those walls. So I understand that it is not. I want to see it be there when they start trying to tear it down, because I think they're going to have their hands full. But like I said, I think it's going to be a great project. I think it's going to be, like I said, we're going to be the envy of the whole Southeast. I don't think it's just going to be Western North Carolina, because like I said, of all the towns I've been in, I have not seen anything that even compares with what this project's going to be when it's all said and done. I just hope they get it done really quick and the COVID goes away so that we can enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. It's going to be a nice front door to our community.
Do we have another person who wishes to speak?
Yes.
We do.
Julia Mode, 110 North Anderson Street, Morganton. And I just wanted to say how excited I am about this wonderful design that's going to take events to another level. It's going to feature our historic courthouse in a way that shows it off instead of hides it in some rather interesting structures. So this is such an exciting thing. Where the events that we can have, from very small to grand scale, the feature, it's going to be a really center feature for Morganton, and it's an exciting time. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Do we have anyone else who wishes to speak at this public hearing?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Brian Black, 214 Davis Drive. And anytime I get ready to speak, my wife starts shaking her head and tells me to sit back down again, which she did this time. I think that the town of Morganton, the city of Morganton, is already the envy. We're not going to be the envy, we already are. And my comments are very simple. Thank you for having the foresight and the courage during a very difficult time to step out and continue to make this happen. This is a short-lived time in history, and when all this is said and done, then it will be a jewel in the center of downtown. So thank you, council. Thank you, city manager. Thank you, Sharon, and all of your crew and team, and we appreciate you guys for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Is anyone else there to speak for this project?
No, apparently not.
At this time, I'll close the public hearing and ask for the wish of council. I need a motion.
I'm excited to make a motion to award a contract for installment purchase financing of the historic Courthouse Square project to Truist Bank in their principal amount of not more than $2,788,358 at a 1.93% interest for a period of 15 years, subject to approval by the North Carolina LGC.
Thank you, Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Wait, just a second, Mr. Mayor. Before we vote, you need to, this is kind of strange, but I believe the rule is we need to confirm for the record that you were able to hear the hearing and
Public comments?
the public hearing comments and the motion that has been made.
I did hear the motion and did hear the public comments.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? passes unanimous.
And you need to state what your vote is.
My vote is yes.
Thank you. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
that's okay. We need a second motion, please.
Motion to approve granting a deed of trust on the city's portion of the historic Courthouse Square property and authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute such deed of trust issued as security to Truist and any other documents as needed.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let the record show the mayor votes aye. Any opposition? The motion passes unanimous. I need a third motion, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing application to the LGC for approval of the financing agreement.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let the record show the mayor votes aye and the motion passes unanimous. Okay, thank y'all so much. Next we have on the...
May I say one thing before we move on to the second item? So this is
Yes.
the first large financing that we are doing since Jesse Pierce joined the team, the new finance director. And we'll certainly expect the rest of our rates to be just like this. No pressure.
That's right.
Thank you, Sally. Next is consideration of an amendment to the lease agreement for the historic Burke County Courthouse between the city of Morganton and Burke County.
Should have been
Louis, are you going to take this or Sally?
Sally is, but I would note it's, of course, the lease for the courthouse square, not the courthouse itself.
Okay, thank you.
It is actually for the
Well, it
courthouse,
includes
too.
the courthouse,
and
but it's the whole,
as we
yeah.
say. So it's really the whole property,
Yeah.
right? The whole
Yeah.
thing. So back in 2008, we entered into a property swap and a long-term lease agreement with Burke County for us to program the property and to do some routine maintenance there. We also had one prior to this, but it was an amended lease that happened then. In that agreement, the initial term was 25 years, which carried us from then until the end of 2032, with an automatic extension of 15 years, which would take our rental agreement, our lease agreement, if you will, until December 31st, 2048. In that agreement, the conditions were that matter for this purpose is that if there were repairs or maintenance work needed to the rock wall or to the courthouse building itself, that the city and county would work on those together. We would share them 50-50. And in any budget year that those expenses were higher than $5,000, we would split it and both pay for it. In looking at this project and through the planning, Burke County would like to do something a little different in regards to the rock wall. So as a part of this project, we're looking at about $75,000, which is what has been in the bid and what is included, to repair and or replace the existing rock wall. Burke County would like to give a reimbursement of $15,000 toward that work to the city. The city would be responsible for the rest of that. But we would not change anything going forward. After this project, our lease agreement would stay in place the same as it is, and we would share an additional cost in the future at 50-50. And they would pay that $15,000 next fiscal year because they haven't budgeted for that this year. And that's okay for us because our first debt service payment won't happen until next year.
Louis, would you like to add anything from the legal side?
Well, two things. One, to be clear, the rock wall repair, restoration, at least in part, is made necessary because of our project. There are, as one of the speakers mentioned, there are problems with the existing rock wall and repairs are needed, but what we're proposing is a little broader project than that. And that's the the county's point was they should only have to pay for half of the actual needed repairs. And this was a negotiated agreement, obviously. But the other thing is, because the lease agreement says what it says about 1/2 of the repair costs, we needed to clarify that this was in writing, an agreement with the county that this was acceptable to the city.
Great. What's the wish of council?
Motion to approve the amendment to the lease agreement for the historic Burke County Courthouse and Burke County Square between the city of Morganton and Burke County.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? And Sally, this will be a one-time payment, correct?
Correct. One time toward the repairs and the work that will happen for this project.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let the record show the mayor votes yes. Any opposition? The motion passes unanimous. Thank y'all so much. Sally, do we have anything else to come before City Council?
We do not.
Does any council member have anything to add, please?
We're just very glad you're feeling better, Ron.
Yes.
Great to hear you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Hearing none, we are officially adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You go.